So hello everyone. So people are setting up. We'll start almost on time. So thank you, John, for that. So APIscene started 11 years ago with the ambition to connect the humans behind APIs. We've seen that 11 years ago we said, okay, like there's new business model, platform business model, ecosystem orchestration, marketplaces, open banking, open insurance, embedded banking, embedded insurance. So we saw that coming and we said, okay, APIs are the angular stone of this transformation on the technical side and the business side. And so we wanted to educate the whole industry with what we call the API mindset. So this is what we said, but most of the time, most of the discussions were online, meetup groups, Google groups, I don't know if you remember, right, or Twitter, people following each other, but we said, no, let's have an event where people can connect together. So we started in 2012, and 7 years later, John, who is the organizer of some API events in Singapore, told us, yeah, why don't we make an official conference there? So this is how it started in Singapore. And just so you know, API is a series of events, a series of conferences around the world. So we have approximately around 10 events every year in different places, in Americas, in Europe, and in APAC. So API is more than 70 events over 10 years, more than 70,000 past attendees for an online community of 300,000 members. So all API practitioners. So don't hesitate to join our online group. APIs is not only just conferences. We also help large organizations to understand, trends, to connect them with the right consulting companies, or to organize internal workshops or trainings. We help them do research classes. So don't hesitate to reach us if you want to scale your internal API practice and mindset. Few initiatives I want to share before we start. The first initiative we have is the Women in API initiative. So, in the tech industry, especially in the software industry, and especially in the API industry, the gender representation does not represent let's say the average representation in the society. So we had this program to help female to attend to tech conferences, to API conferences, to speak at API conferences. So it's a program. So if you're a female, if you identify yourself as a female and you want to participate to API conferences as a speaker, or if you know a female engineer or business manager who know about APIs that deserve to be a speaker, don't hesitate to share this program. Yesterday morning we had a specific session, Women API. So don't hesitate to share a word about the program. The second one we have is a Sustainable Digital Challenge. So it's a 3-month program. It's a free 3-month program for large organizations and smaller companies to rethink their application according to eco-design principles. So UX, code, architecture, hardware. Over 3 months, teams like business, product, and tech teams work together into different workshops to rethink their application, their infrastructure, according to eco-design principles to reduce their carbon footprint, and also to train and begin to educate the whole teams and the whole management about reducing carbon footprint. So we started in Europe, and again, if you're interested, buy one in APAC in Singapore, you can come reach us. We will see how we can organize a challenge here. Last but not least, we have a media platform about APIs called APIscene. It's where sometimes our speakers write articles about their content and their stories. And so if you want API news, API thought leadership, you can go on APIscene.io, where you will be able to have access to a lot of recent articles on APIs on the business side and the technical side. Last but not least, we have an initiative called the API Industry Landscape. So it's a landscape of 1,200 companies that we monitor. We track all the numbers, the funding, the hires, the blog posts, the product that they launch, and we give reports. We give analyst reports that we write called the API Industry Landscape. So if you really want to know the taxonomy of the industry, if you really want to know what are the trends, what are the growing companies, what are the current merger and acquisition in the space, you can relate to this landscape. It's an interactive landscape where you can actually browse and search companies and be able to understand what's going on. So for Twitter, if you want to share some things about the event, you can go on API Days. You can use the hashtag API Days SVP like Singapore, or you can mention us at API Days Global. We will be glad to retweet your tweet to our more than 10K follower on API practitioners. We will talk about a lot of topics during the event, like API business model, API beyond IT, API as a product, API governance, microservices, standards. We will talk about all these topics, and during the conference, we will try to apply it to an industry that Singapore affects a lot, which is the finance and banking industry. But yeah, so we'll have business tracks, technical tracks. I really invite you to follow all the program, and I will ask John to come me on stage. John, if you can come on stage with me, just also to thank the sponsors, because this event is possible thanks to the sponsors, right?
Yes, certainly. We can't have a conference without our community. We can't have a conference without speakers, and we can't have a conference without our sponsors. So we're really impressed. Actually, we've had a lot of support from our sponsors this year. Solus, our gold sponsor. I'm going to try and remember all our sponsors. Our silver sponsors: IBM, DataStack, Couchbase, SUSE, Nginx, Solo, New Relic, DocuSign, and Postman, and of course our bronze sponsors, Okta and Kong, and also Hazura. Yeah. So and we're very grateful also to have the Apex platform as our community sponsor, and you'll hear from Umang, the CEO of Nintendo, shortly. And please take a moment. Some of you, I know that a number of people attended the workshops that we ran yesterday afternoon among the sponsors, but the sponsors are there to share with you what they do and how they can help you. So during the break, make sure you get in touch with them and see what they have to offer.
So we will be ready for one full day of content, right? But do you remember the first thing we talked about is about connecting the humans behind APIs, right? You remember? Yeah. So to warm up for the day, I will ask you a small exercise. I will ask you to connect to your right neighbor and your left neighbor, right? Just 30-second discussion so you can already make an introduction. If you don't have neighbors on the left and the right, behind you and in front of you, right? Okay? We go for that? Okay, I give you 30 seconds.